What's that sound?
What's that sound? What's that sound? It's the MOBcast.
I mean, it's a balance between, I guess, the free time versus the money, and it's like both are important. But some people, all they want is the money, and then some people are homeless in California.
And mind you, I was doing the job for the experience, not the money.
Exactly, that's the main thing.
It's not about the money. It's about
sending a message.
Thank you.
I like the things I like. They're cheap. Gunpowder, gasoline.
Always about
everything burns.
Everything burns. Well, this is episode 5 of the MOBcast.
Are we live?
I believe
we're
live.
I think we've been live.
We're live.
Son of a bitch!
And this is.
I hate that.
This is episode 5.
I mean, I love it, but
and what we're
episode
here today.
5.
Yeah, it's episode 5. Yeah, believe it or not, man. I mean, we are cruising. I wish we could double that. I'd love to do it weekly, but you know. We'll see if we ever get there. Life. Yeah, that sounds about right.
We'll get there. This video is sponsored by Taco Bell.
I wish. This
That'd be
is Baja. No. No, but in all seriousness, this is episode 5 with the mob here. Joined with Nathan, myself, Michael, Jordan, Brad, and Matt. And episode 5, it's a good one here. It walks the line of current topic and some other juicy stuff that people like to talk about and argue about, but we kind of want to start this episode off with this Johnny Depp versus Amber Heard nonsense, I guess, going on that everyone's talking about, memeing about on the internet. So basically, Johnny Depp is suing Amber. Anyone step in and correct me if I'm wrong, but suing her for defamation.
He's countersuing her or something like that, right?
Yeah.
Or she countersuing him.
So
They're
she's
suing each other.
countersuing him.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's suing her for $50 million. She's countersuing for 100. So it's like $150 million up for grab, is my understanding.
Yeah. And it's like a defamation trial. So like it's when someone says something false about you and that like ruins your reputation. And I mean
$150 million.
It's a lot of money.
Reputation.
It's a lot of tacos.
Must be nice.
It's a lot of tacos.
It's a lot of tacos.
It's a lot of tacos. But I mean, it begs the question. I mean, I don't know. We can really open it up here with all of us, but like the sides to it. I mean, what's wrong with one person or the other? I mean, who's in the right, who's in the wrong? Yeah, it opens up a lot of questions.
In his bed.
Well,
we're here to talk about it.
I think that she's in the wrong. She
Michael, who pooped the bed?
Slime. Not me.
Frank Reynolds. I
pooped the bed.
I mean, maybe she's gonna like plead insanity. I know it's not a criminal case, but like that's some.
He was doing key bumps on the stand.
I saw
I mean,
that.
she is like, she just seems crazy to me in a bad way.
Yeah.
So I think it's interesting in this specific situation because they're both obviously like very talented actors.
I wouldn't say she is.
So, like when they're up on the stand, when they're up on the stand, like you don't know if one of them's completely just putting on an act. It's total. It's like who's got the better poker face.
Well, in France,
point,
I'm pretty sure in France, actors aren't allowed to testify because they're seen as professional liars, which is literally, I mean, you're lying about every aspect of your personality.
Essentially, yeah.
Well, how about sorry, I don't want to interrupt you.
No, you're good.
So, has anybody seen any of the videos? I mean, like I've seen them on. I don't have TikTok, but like the Instagram like versions of TikTok, where it'll show Amber like. She'll be like trying to look sad or whatever, and then like she'll think that the camera's off or somebody's not looking, and then she like turns into a normal person, and then when she thinks like back on, she's like, oh, like it was like when she realized like she's supposed to be sad because like her attorney had told her something that was like I guess positive for them, and she like got excited and then realized that she had to be sad. So
a lot of people do that,
or,
though. Like Harvey Weinstein is like screwed up as an individual as he was. like he shows up with
Piece
a
of
cane,
shit,
acting
yeah.
like he's a decrepit old man. I'm like, no, you just destroyed a lot of people mentally and physically for money, but it's fine. I'm sorry, Brad. I think you were about to say something.
No, like just to Matt's point, yeah, there were a bunch of times where like she thought that they were taking pictures or something for just like articles or whatever, and she would sit there and like hold like a Kleenex like over her nose, like she had just got done like snotting because she was crying or something like that. And also, yeah, to Matt's point earlier, she was doing coke on the stand.
Oh,
Well,
that's
that
a
was
joke. I mean, I
hilarious.
was kidding. That's not actually. That's. Not
I don't know, dude. I don't know about that.
Well, Brad, with your own point there, like what I heard, the first thing I heard was that she was doing coke with the tissue, but something my girlfriend brought up was the fact that she saw the camera start flashing, so she held it there, like the napkin to help hold it there for the pictures, and it just looked like she was doing coke because she sniffs in and doesn't blow out or anything like that. But I think she was trying to sell it to the cameras.
When I'm blowing my nose, I don't inhale.
Exactly.
Like,
I'll do like a.
Yeah,
I'll do a little huffing and then blow, but yeah, I'm not
don't
like
defend her.
I'm not in any way. I'm just playing devil's advocate here.
She literally because like there was the time where she was sat there like this for the picture, and then there were other times where she literally would go like mess with like the Kleenex, like get like her like finger like with the Kleenex on it and go,
Oh,
and then
I
and then
didn't
like
know
they
that.
went through like the progressions of like someone who's on coke, and like in this like clip, and like showed like how she was literally like on like a high and then like coming down.
oh yeah, I'm no way
gotta-
defending her. I think I know Johnny's not hasn't had the brightest life in some aspects, but
He
she
does a lot of
seems like a
drugs.
terrible, awful.
He's an
Whoa.
American treasure, and you do not put salt on his name, Nathan. That was the wrong thing to say. Sully is the word I was looking for. Do not. Johnny Depp, American hero. I don't want to hear anything else.
Well, I don't think either of them are innocent in the relationship, but I definitely don't think Johnny's the antagonist.
Exactly. No,
Well,
I don't think he's ever laid a hand on somebody.
we got to be really careful because, of course, knowing our luck, this is the one that goes viral, and then we get sued for defamation.
There it is.
MOBcast on trial. Hell yeah.
And then we get to meet.
We use this,
Johnny Depp,
Evan.
so it's okay.
Yeah, hey, any press is good press, right?
No, but I think like it kind of comes down to like what. So she's obviously the more like violent one. It seems like he's always kind of been like very laid back, and like coming from the family that he came from. I guess the same thing happened to his dad, where his mom would beat his dad, and he would never do anything to her. So I don't know. It's kind of like one of those like history repeats itself, or like you find yourself in the same position as where you were earlier on in your life. But obviously, he's got his issues too with like the drugs and alcohol. But does
Right.
that like stack up to the physical and mental abuse that Amber's causing?
Also, like a lot of people I've watched a couple of the videos on YouTube, and like a couple of the points they're making is just because you abuse alcohol and drugs doesn't make you violent or like an abusive partner. You
Right.
could be a chill person who just spends the time away from family and be on drugs and alcohol. I mean, I don't know if you should really focus on that as an abusive aspect, unless it leads to it. But it doesn't seem like that makes Johnny Depp an abusive person.
I feel like that's the biggest point for them that they're trying to, on Amber's side, that they're trying to pin on him.
Yeah.
Is that? But then
Just
I
make
see
him look
like
bad.
I see his ex-wife and all of his kids be like, no, like he would never ever like do anything
Right.
like this. Yeah.
Well, let's be real. Quinn's graduating next weekend, which will be so when this comes out, it will have been yesterday he graduated. And trust me, I'll be using drugs and alcohol to get through that weekend with family.
There you go.
There you go.
And
Alright.
it might be considered abuse, but I mean, it'll be in a weekend. I don't, all the time. And I won't be violent. I just, I won't want to, I'll be around those people. I just won't want to like feel the things that they're saying to me because it's just, it's kind of like, oh, Jesus Christ.
Exactly.
Well, I guess the people who I feel that way about probably won't listen to this, but yikes. Well, if this goes viral later and those people listen, sorry.
Well, I think that
All right.
like I think that like I don't know, like if you if you do a bunch of drugs and then you go and harm somebody, right? I would be shocked if that would not weigh on your conscience. Like, let's say Johnny Depp, because I think he's just a good human being. You know what I mean? Like like when he goes to act for Pirates of the Caribbean 47 or whatever number they're on now.
He's not.
It's his job. He's an actor. I wish he was, but he's an actor. That's his job. He goes to work like we do, and then he just like at the end of the day he probably turns it off. But I feel like if he actually did something horrible, I have a feeling, I don't care how good of an actor you are, I have a feeling that like you would still just be kind of tripping up, and like you would just be so mentally like taxing because of how like your conscience, you know what I mean? Well, I'd like to think I have a conscience sometimes. That if I did something wrong, I couldn't live with myself. Like that, I couldn't live with myself.
And that's
why I don't think.
That's the scary thing, is that, just off your point, is some people don't have that. They're just kind of evil in that kind of aspect. So
Like that recording of her when she's like it's he's recording her and she's like, Johnny, I'm not punching you, or I'm not slapping you or something. I'm just hitting you or something. Like trying to downplay, but it's literally the same thing. And she's saying, grow up, like be a man. And it's like, what are you trying to get out of him?
Equal rights, equal fights, square up.
Like it seems like she like wants to like go head to head, and it's like.
Well, no, actually, in my
he's
opinion,
kept such like a level head.
To your point, though, think about it. And I'm not saying that things are like this, but I think that this is the times. It's woman hits a man is different than if a man hits a woman. I feel like everybody's a little bit biased to those kind of standards. So,
Sure.
You know what I mean? Even if it's not like, I don't have any statistics on this, but you know what I mean? If a lady hits a guy, it's not a big deal. If a man punches a woman, it's like, go to jail. Now, don't ever do that. People don't need to hit each other in general, but especially all the men out there listening, don't hit women.
Yeah,
or anybody.
I mean, to your point, it goes both ways, but just it's primarily, unfortunately, us guys doing the terrible act. So
that's true.
But yeah, Emily, she brought up a good point to me, because this is such like a public trial, and you see it all over social media. And she brought up the question, like, do you think jurors are able to like go home after the case or whatever? People, they see this on social media. And the answer is yes. Like, they can use their phones, do whatever. Even the judge, they can see all this. But it's like, oh, no, you're supposed to just use the guidelines of you can only use what's in court for you to, like, make your opinion, which I think is one impossible. If you see all of this other information out there. I know that's not how a court's supposed to work, but...
Well, realistically, it doesn't make any sense anyway, because it's supposed to be a jury of one's own peers. And I don't see a bunch of actors sitting there.
All-star
realistically
cast for the jury.
Yeah, exactly. Which an ensemble cast would be, a jury of their peers, which would actually understand what $150 million might feel like to them.
Jason Momoa, Orlando Bloom, and Keira Knightley up on the stand, and they all got Johnny's back. Same people. Fun! I saw. Yeah, sorry, Brad. Go ahead.
No, you go.
I was gonna say I saw there's a petition ongoing, change.org or whatever, to remove Amber Heard from Aquaman 2. And when I just last checked it this morning, it was up to like 4 million signatures, which is obviously the movie's done. Like, they're not going to do that, but which is crazy because that many people are like, no, one, you're a bad actor, and two, you're a bad person. It's like, we don't need you in this movie. And I read that some reports that Jason Momoa really struggled to work with her, just because apparently she's just a bad personality and everything like that.
He's amazing.
And Jason's like awesome. Yeah.
Right.
So I just thought that was really interesting. I don't know. I'll just look away when she's on camera. So
I really don't. I just don't trust her or her like counsel at all, because there's a couple videos I watched where she said she was beaten by Johnny and had bruises and was checked out by physicians and family members and friends, and she had absolutely nothing. And then she goes on a talk show the next day and she looks perfectly fine. When she said she was using makeup, but I mean, if you have two black eyes and a cut lip, you really can't cover that up on live TV.
That's hard to cover.
Right.
Well, how about her counsel is just terrible. He asked the question.
That's what I was gonna bring up.
Oh my gosh.
A week and a half
That
ago.
clip.
The physician answers it, and he's like, "Objection!" And she's like, "The judge is like, you asked that question."
I object.
That's something
Oh,
Michael
yeah.
Scott would do if he was a lawyer. Objection.
Insane.
It happened with company property and on company property, so that's double jeopardy. Michael, that's not how double jeopardy works. Oh, sorry. What is double jeopardy?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like those people, they're just trying to win, and they're just, I guess, idiots. But
It seemed like
trying to
literally
stifle everyone's voice other than their own.
it seemed like the whole, so like there was the compilation of all the objection hearsays from her lawyer, and it seemed like literally the only intention for that was to get under Johnny's skin and try to get some sort of like aggressive reaction out of him, which he never reacted in that
Just
way.
sitting back.
Because I mean, if you're a semi-decent lawyer, and two, a good enough lawyer to be put on like one of the biggest trials in a long time, you're not just gonna say objection hearsay to literally everything.
Do you think if this gets so big and it's like goes down in history like the OJ trial that they're going to make a movie about it? Do you think that Johnny Depp would play Johnny Depp in the trial? What if he plays the lawyer?
So.
If it's made
He
by
plays
Disney,
Amber Heard's
no.
lawyer.
If he made a spoof of the courtroom, I think it'd be hilarious.
Has
He just
SNL
spends his
done
entire
anything
time,
like
objection.
They did
Yeah,
last
yeah,
night. I
Did
think.
they? Yeah. That makes
I think
sense.
last night. Yeah,
Was it any good?
but I have no idea. I literally just saw the article.
Probably
I don't watch this
not.
now.
I'd
Yeah.
agree with
The
Matt. I'd
SNL
agree with
cast
Matt.
sucks.
Yeah.
It's been really bad for a long time. Not a lot. I shouldn't say that. Ever since like Kristen Wiig and Bill Hader left, I think it's really kind of went down the tubes. And like John Mulaney and all those writers also left. It hasn't been very good for a while.
Yep.
I agree. Yeah, so it's I mean, I feel like it was off almost all last week, and I think this is almost the last week for it, for the trial itself. So hopefully, I mean, we'll hear something, maybe a resolution for it. Hopefully Johnny wins.
He's gonna have to pay him $50 million.
I hope so.
You know what sucks? You know what sucks too is, like, as a society, I think we want to trust women when stuff like this happens, and a lot of times they don't. Cases too, like immediately people don't immediately trust women, like bad people. But like seeing Amber Heard, the next woman to come out against her husband, if it's a high priority, like a high famous case, that lady is not going to get the initial trust that she needs if she's telling the truth.
Yeah,
like
this is
she's
a
like
step back.
Yeah, she's like
very
screwing
good point.
over other women.
Guess what? She doesn't care about that. So
No, she's a bad person.
clearly,
And I hope
Actresses be crazy.
I hope the
She poops
media
the bed.
I hope the media isn't making it out worse because they like Johnny or whatever reason. I don't think that's the case, but I just want to be able to trust everything that we're getting.
that's a good point to
Yeah.
it too, because I mean, obviously, I think the facts tell the story themselves. It's, you know, Johnny's kind of in the right? But I feel like in the media, it's definitely portrayed at least a little bit that Johnny's kind of the hero in this case, and she's kind of the villain.
Right, and it didn't start out that way either.
Right, exactly. Exactly.
He
That's why
lost
Johnny.
all
That's
those
why
parts.
Johnny lost all those movies, and he will never do a work for certain companies ever again because they didn't believe him. And like you said, I think that's a step backward for a lot of potential future issues or cases. So
If he does follow through on that too, good on him.
yeah, I'd agree.
Do that
Like
one.
they're not working for those companies, because he could say whatever he wants on the stand, but you know, I mean, at the time you can argue. So like the fact that he said that on the stand is not a big deal, because you can come back and say like, well, my frame of mind changed, and Disney they did indeed offer me $300 million to continue playing Jack Sparrow. So you know what, I said fuck it, and you know, I got a jar of dirt. I mean, like that.
I would
I
love
hope he
to see
doesn't do that.
because I saw a headline today that Jerry Bruckheimer, they're currently writing, I guess, because they're going to put a Disney Plus show of Pirates of the Caribbean, and Margaret Robbie's supposed to be starring, and I just wonder if he'd ever. Yeah, I don't know, but
Probably not.
Probably not. One can hope, but
She seems like a nice lady.
Well, he was attached to that project.
I love Margot
like,
Robbie.
not on like starring role, but he was attached to it, right?
yeah, at least in some sort of probably producing or some
Cameo
sort of
type of
role
thing.
like that.
I thought that's
absolutely.
yeah.
I mean, they were like in talks to make whatever Pirates of the Caribbean 6 was it the next one, and then
I don't know. 5 was just not good.
yeah, that's one we saw a few years back in the summer.
Not great. It
Wasn't great. I love me some
Yikes.
Pirates of the Caribbean, but yeah, it definitely was not the.
Like the stakes seem significantly lower than with
Yes.
Davy Jones. It's just like, oh, this is like a fun family adventure.
I mean, I love the characters, but yeah, it just wasn't the same.
the first 3, or is it 3 or 4? The first.
I didn't love 4. 4 was the
What was 4?
At World's End.
No, that was the third.
Yeah, the
Crew.
first 3 are.
I think I could be wrong.
I'll look it up, but I'm pretty sure it's the first 3 are just magnificent.
Oh, absolutely. I mean,
Last
they
two
were
have been
way
cash
ahead of their
grab.
time in technology and just storytelling. It's awesome. I mean,
For sure.
oh, I need to watch those again. They were so good.
So you had
Oh,
2003 Pirates of the Caribbean.
Yeah, run it down for us.
Pirates of the Caribbean: The Curse of the Black Pearl.
Of course. Next.
Pirates of the Caribbean: Dead Man's Chest.
Of course.
2006, 2007. Pirates of the Caribbean: At World's End. That's like where he comes back from the dead.
Trilogy, yeah.
Pirates of the Caribbean: On Stranger
That
Tides.
was it. I couldn't remember.
That was just okay.
Yeah, I didn't like that one that much.
And then the 5th one, Pirates of the Caribbean: Dead Man Tell No Tales, was just not great.
Stranger Tides, is that when he's like younger or something like that? I can't remember.
No, they
what
went
did.
to like some island with the sirens or something. I know they were involved in some.
And then Barbosa had a peg leg. Am I crazy?
I think
Am
I watched
just
that
making
movie
stuff
once,
up
to
now?
be honest.
I can't remember the movie.
I don't either. That's okay.
we're pushing like 18 hours of straight film with all the movies combined. So it's
Yeah,
hard to remember.
Those were long movies. I feel like that was like Endgame before Endgame. Just like 2.5, 45 minutes at World's End was just super long.
A lot more fun than sitting in a courtroom.
That's
actually-
damn sure.
Well, I don't know. It seems like he's having a pretty good time with this for essentially being trying to be defamed with all the stupid shit that her lawyer's saying and him just laughing, like cracking jokes and like laughing at this guy. I mean, I feel like you could have a worse time.
He's definitely on the right end of it.
He's so witty. I aspire to be that witty. I hope I never have to be. I don't want to be on trial. Then again, 150 million, I would go to court for that. Not to get taken
okay,
away.
lose.
That's a
If
lot.
I lose,
It's a lot of money.
I'm going to run away to a different island with no laws. Mob Island.
Tortuga.
Mob Island.
Well, we can. So when I move, we can. If anybody wants to come down for the weekend, we can like sail to the Caribbean and like try and make our own movie if we want. Because like
Ends
I
up
won't be that far
stranded
away.
for weeks.
Yeah, pretty much.
Are you suggesting we build a
Yes. Yep.
a raft?
100%.
No, we build a ship.
Does anyone know how to
Absolutely.
sail?
Yes.
You do.
No.
I have a broken compass. Does that mean I know?
We follow the stars.
Yeah.
Because I am Moana.
Exactly.
Here's how it goes down. Assuming we can get out past the surf on this raft, I guarantee that we would either A, die,
Most
B,
likely.
70
somehow survive long enough for the Cubans to come and abduct us, or C, probably some cartel. We see too much, and then we just have to work for them, which would be a badass life. until we take the fall. But
Or D,
that'd be cool.
We go adrift for so long that we ended up on our stranded island, and there are people there that like to eat people. Then we die. So
I don't like that option. I don't like any of those options.
Yeah,
Hey,
the
man,
first
these all sound
three.
terrible.
Is
about we just don't
cannibalism
do this?
illegal?
How about we just hang in Tampa? We'll do that.
Yeah, it's probably
like
a
that.
better
That's
call.
probably the best idea. All right.
Or we get abducted in the triangle over there, and then we become like Guardians of the Galaxy. That could
Yes,
happen.
we enter the multiverse.
Yeah.
That would be cool. Well, I guess my only other question for this Amber Heard Johnny Depp trial is, all bias aside, so no media, no personal opinion, who do you think's gonna win?
Johnny.
Johnny Depp.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think she
It's so
knows
hard
it.
to-
I think she's known it since it started. once the tide
Once it
started
got to
shifting,
trial.
I think she was like, "Oh fuck."
You gotta be some kind of legitimate, like, mentally unwell person to be recording somebody without their knowledge. Like, I guess Johnny did that too.
I mean, that's illegal,
but
but yeah.
it is illegal unless you are gathering evidence because you suspect somebody's going to commit a crime. So
Fair
was
enough.
she
That's a
trying
good
to? But was she trying to like bait him into becoming violent, having evidence,
I
and then
think that's
taking
right.
all
I
of his
think you're-
money?
I think you're correct in that.
Some people are dark, man.
I mean, it seems like a lot of this
was.
was premeditated. Like, it seems like she was trying
Yeah.
to lay like little breadcrumbs along the road, you know,
For
and
sure.
then just kind of all fell apart.
Waste my time, 2022.
Well, shifting gears here, the rest of the cast want to talk about just a lot of different legal aspects in our country today. We do live in the United States. I do think it's the greatest country in the world, but there are many, different issues we have and such. But so we just want to open the floor here and talk about any legality topics, whether it be drugs, as we just talked about Johnny Depp and Amber Heard. There were issues right there with them. And then there are also guns, many other different, all sorts of stuff to talk about. So, what do we want to
Somebody-
start with?
Kick it off, I guess.
Well,
Yeah,
I can start it off if you want.
for sure.
Just because you talked about, Jordan said something about being premeditated with Amber Heard, and I'm sure you guys saw the horrific news up in Buffalo.
That's what I was gonna bring up.
That just happened. We do send our hearts out to those victims in Buffalo, New York. There was another shooting up there. And what do you know? The guy I know, I believe he had an AR-15. It was bought at I believe it's some gun shop, but then it was modified. And just a horrific, terrible thing that should never happen, ever, in my opinion. And my opinion is I just don't think anyone needs a rifle. That's me. No one needs any sorts like it. So I know we have some people
You
that
can
are,
kill somebody with a pistol just as easy.
I shot an AR-15 yesterday at a target because I'm not mentally unstable. But to your point, all right, yeah, I'm the gun guy here. I like my boomsticks. I have too many, but I don't think that gun control would work ever, because bad people that want to do bad things are going to find ways to get guns. That, like, there's no way you're going to stop getting them into this country. Or, I mean, everyone knows a machinist. Like, you can just zip one out of a piece of aluminum. And that would be worse because it's unregistered. So
Yeah.
there has to be, and I'm not saying that, like, leave it alone. There has to be something done about these shootings happening seemingly only in the United States somehow. But
It's because we have these, or we don't have these laws. That's why.
shall not be infringed. Boom, demonetized. I'm kidding. We're not monetized at all. But I don't know. I mean, they say the old, as the adage goes, a bad guy with a polite and armed society, so like a good guy with a gun can stop a bad guy with the gun. Now, clearly that didn't happen this time because didn't he shoot a security guard?
No,
who had a
security guard shot him.
There was a retired or not a.
Yeah, he was retired.
I want to say it was a retired, like an off-duty security guard,
yeah.
Police officer, and he shot the guy, and he was wearing a bulletproof vest, and he took a couple shots, and then killed that guy.
And we didn't even bring up the fucked up point that he live streamed the whole thing.
On
oh
Twitch.
God, I didn't know that.
Yeah,
you know what is
sick people in this world, man. It's disgusting.
Yeah. Is it like, I don't know, I'm not a psychologist, but like maybe is that like a thrill thing? Is that like a
okay?
This was purely racially motivated.
Yes.
Oh.
Brad is correct. So supposedly, like he had a Twitch, Discord, whatever. He dropped a bunch of documents on there that like he had everything completely planned out, like targeting African Americans specifically. And then also saying like, oh, I'm also going to shoot anyone I see as well.
That just takes away from your fucking point. I know it's a shitty, crazy point, but that makes no sense at all. You're just being a bad person. You're being a horrible person.
Just being a piece of
point.
shit is what it is.
You have nothing to back your argument up.
No, because then it goes. I'm not an expert on any of this, but he goes into these different bullshit theories, right? That
like he had like a 106-page manifesto or something.
Yeah, it was
on
insane.
The internet.
Just really disgusting and something that I think should just never happen. And Michael, I get it, man. I mean, I've shot one too. I have a long time ago, but I just don't see the point. But you're right. You have a good point. It's like because people are always going to find a way.
Right. Well, I understand what you're saying. Like, personally...
I mean, make it harder, you know? I mean...
Right. Okay, so if you look at history, usually when a country takes away guns from its citizens, that's when genocide happens. Afterwards, they did that in Nazi Germany. They did that in...
Okay, this is 2022 in the United States.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, and some bad things still happen all over the world, like certain genocides ongoing in China and in, I think just China. There's some Muslims there.
Correct. I'm not saying take away guns. Yeah. I want to get a firearm for my own house.
Right.
I don't want an AK-47, you know?
Right. Well...
Aren't those illegal already?
ARs.
No, you can get them.
Exactly.
It's just tough because, like, unfortunately, the box has already been opened, and it's not something that you can just close.
You can't just put away.
So
I understand that. I mean, it's...
Yeah.
Trust me.
I don't think I don't think regular civilians should have semi-automatic or automatic weapons.
I would agree with you.
But I do think that they should be available to like law enforcement.
Oh, I agree with that.
As long with the proper training, I guess. But
what's
again, just like
them?
Good guys need to be able to combat the bad guys.
But if you have an inferior rifle as a citizen, as in something where you need to, lock the bolt or pump it before you can do a shot, and then, I don't know, let's say you have a crooked cop and he snaps and he's shooting people and he has an AR. Now your citizens are unmatched. Like, it's supposed to protect or defend against terrorists, foreign and domestic. And I'm not saying that the government's out to get you and all mind control. That would be in that guy's manifesto, and that is just wrong and stupid. But yeah, Pandora's box of AR-15s have been open, and there's nothing anyone can do about it. I think they could try. I think that would be the wrong way to go about it. And frankly, I think all of these things that are happening with guns are the result of the ever-prevalent and much more pressing issue of the mental health crisis in the United States. People that are normal don't go shoot up buildings, in my opinion.
Exactly.
Right?
That's the biggest problem, is because, I mean, Michael, you said you shot one yesterday.
I don't have it. I have a semi-auto, it's a 22. You can't do anything with that. And then, I have a semi-automatic shotgun.
Yeah.
But it's for trap shooting. Like, it's not home
defense. It doesn't matter, though. So, like, I don't know with you if everything, or I don't know with any of us, everything is, straight up and all there and whatever. But I mean, there's still, you're not going to go and shoot up a school. So, I mean, that's,
Right.
if somebody does a background check on you and they do a psych evaluation, whatever, because you want to go out in the woods and feel like, if you miss the deer the first time, you'll have a chance to, get it the second or the third or whatever, however that works. I don't really know. I don't hunt. But
I don't miss.
if that's how you're going to do.
You can't use those for hunting, I thought.
No, you can't.
Yeah.
Well, so wait, then what the hell's the point of having them?
Exactly, Matt. Exactly.
Home defense, and because
Why don't
the
you just
government
get a
You can shoot pistols semi-automatic too.
Well, why not a shotgun?
Yeah.
I would defend my home with a shotgun.
I would defend my home
shoot
with
some
a
guy in the
shotgun,
dick.
too.
Okay, so what does the AR do for Bob Joe down the street?
Okay, here's what it is, and it kind of was answered in our story. So the kid had an AR, right? And the retired cop trained with a pistol, only had a pistol. He shot the guy. The guy had a ballistics armor on, whatever it was, and didn't put him down. That guy walks into your house, same situation. You have a pistol. He has whatever gun, but with ballistics on. That guy's going to kill you if you can't kill him because he has armor on.
Aim for the head.
So
why is this right, man?
So going back to this specific situation though,
it's exactly how I was sold at the gun store too. Like the first thing when I said I was buying a 22, the guy said you're not going to be able to kill anybody with this. I'm like, well, it's not for killing, it's for shooting at targets and having fun. And he's like, that's the first thing he sold me on. I was like, well, I don't really like that idea, but that is kind of a good argument.
In this specific situation, you can't say like, oh, well, if this guy would have just been walking around with an AR, like he would have been able to stop this guy.
Yeah,
the guy had a concealed carry, and
I was talking about in home, like someone comes into your house in that situation.
But in this specific situation, no one would have been able to combat that.
No,
at that specific point.
I mean, and it's
until
like I
law
don't
enforcement got there.
I don't want to leave and I'm not one of those people. I don't think there's many that I'm gonna like the Kent State gun girl. Kent State, great school. She was, her big thing was, this is an open carry state. I can walk around with an AR-15 on campus if I want to, and no one does that unless they're trying to be an asshole. Like, just,
well, technically she can because it's a school, right?
Wasn't there something, I'm not too well versed, but I look up Kent State gun girl, I think that's school. I think she was just trying to prove a point. I don't know. I think it's the left versus right, not political parties, but like this side versus the other side, like just to stir the pot and make people angry at each other. But see, this is why this type of media, what we're doing right now, is important because clearly we disagree on some things and we can at least have the conversation and not have to go out and pretend to protest. I digress from that point, but I think we have them, and I mean, the great thing about the Second Amendment is you're just allowed to have them. There's no real, you can use them if you want them. It's like that's just the truth of freedom. Like I don't want somebody telling me what I can and can't have. I guess to a limit. I don't think that civilians should have access to high grade nuclear material. You know what I mean? There are some things, and you can't get automatic weapons in this country. For civilians unless you have the crazy expensive permit. I think the laws are too complicated as well. It's nuts. The ATF they don't know what the hell they're talking about. Yeah, but I digress.
Yeah.
No, I mean, seriously, the AR I shot yesterday, it's a pistol with an 11.5-inch barrel and an arm brace, which are now illegal. So I never shot that yesterday, actually. But
nice save.
No, the thing is, it's over. It's like 2 feet long. It looks like a rifle. It's big and black and scary looking. It does the same thing as other guns, but I understand it. I think possibly to Nathan's point, I don't think there's a definition on what a military grade or military style is, but in terms of being the most efficient machine to kill something, an AR-15 does a really good job at it. There's a lot of add-ons and stuff you can put to make it very, I don't want to say more deadly, but just very efficient about taking something down that you want to take down.
And I mean,
wait. Before anybody says anything else, I never thought that Michael would describe a gun as big, black, and scary looking. I thought he would be describing something else. Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
Jesus.
for some reason I knew Matt was going to say something about it.
Well,
I was shocked it in the moment.
Who's 7 years old and thought that was hysterical? Sorry.
I hope our audience isn't 7-year-olds.
No, we're screened on YouTube and it's explicit. So
okay, good.
I hope not, but
that would be funny.
where were we going? Where was I going? Oh, yeah, Michael, I just think part of what you're saying is partially proving my point, and some people partially agree in the point that, okay, then why do we need that? Why should that be available? And I understand, I completely respect, and I truly understand that mental illness is very real, that is an issue too. But then, okay, why are we having these become available to certain people like that, with maybe struggling with different issues, or they're racially or discriminately charged with just horrific ideas and thoughts that some person somewhere on the internet put into their heads?
Well, I guess we need to get better at background screening people and like checking. Like, I know there are certain medications, including in the state of Pennsylvania, if you have your medical license for marijuana, you can't buy a gun. So now I don't like that ultimatum at all. But
do you think that would change
when push comes to shove?
Do you think, speaking of, do you think that would change if marijuana got like legalized in PA as recreational? I don't know.
I don't know.
But
I think you're in like marijuana for like some people it's for a physical issue. I think you can get it for like IBD. So like if your tummy hurts all the time, you can smoke some weed. But
I mean,
it's very easy. It's very
IBD.
Oh,
there's two different things. I feel like they're very different.
They're very similar.
Oh, thank you, Matt.
Oh, okay.
Matt is the doctor of the group.
Resident doctor. I don't know if it would change though. I mean, some
I was
people
just curious.
Yeah, I mean that'd be a thing that they would have to figure out.
It probably wouldn't, because people would assume that you would be under the influence and whatnot. Okay, Michael.
You can drink alcohol and shoot a gun just as easy.
You're not supposed to.
Well, you got to be an idiot. Yeah, like
that's not. I mean,
I know you're not supposed to, but I'm sure people do it every day.
Oh, I 1000% agree with you.
I didn't do it yesterday. I promise.
I know you are. I will say one thing, Michael. You're very strict on that. I will say
Don't
that
mess
you are
around.
strict on your
call it
gun rules.
a gun positive environment.
Okay, Michael.
Extremely,
So then, side argument. Okay, so you say we need to up these or change these screening processes somehow, but the issue is, I feel like a big issue is that I feel like this terrible person that did this act just this weekend, he went to like a gun show or something like that and just picked it up. Those need to be regulated, because you've told me before, can't you just like go in and get something?
You can just win a gun at a raffle.
Yeah.
Well, okay. Up until a couple years ago, if you were 16 and you won, they just hand you a rifle, and they're all registered to the firefighters that were putting this on. Because now, they're registered firearms, and then they give them away. It was legal. Now, well, I don't know if it was probably legal. Now, you can't even get your gun if you win at the raffle that I go to. You have to go to a gun store, and then you have a voucher for that specific item, and then you get that registered to you, and then they give it to you. And I think you have to be 18 now. So they're getting more strict on that. And can I do a funny story?
The kid was 18 that just did this thing this weekend.
Yeah, I know.
I'm not trying to pin you in a corner. I'm just,
No. I mean, it's the open discussion, and clearly I'm probably a bit more on one-sided than some people.
No, I feel like none of us want innocent lives taken. It's just
absolutely not.
It's just how can we improve this? I know fixing seems like a near impossible thing.
Well, if you wanted to disarm the population, you make the ammunition unavailable. and then over the next 10 to 15 years, depending on when stockpiles run out, then the guns would be useless. I hope that doesn't happen, but ammo is extremely expensive now, so that's good.
So is everything else.
Yeah, well,
I don't think these crazy people are worried about prices of ammo. I think they're planning on doing what they got to do and then going out.
That's true. That's true. Honestly, Nathan, and to everybody, that is an extremely good question. Like, there is no doubt that that is a major problem in our country. I don't know. Like, I think there's probably whole careers you could have on trying to solve these problems, and it's hard. But
Unfortunately,
Well, the worst.
yeah,
I was say the worst part of it is like we talk about it when something happens, and like you have like the serious discussions for a week or so, and then it just disappears.
well, that's what the stupid
Until the next one.
whatever side you're on, left or right, they argue their point on it, yada yada yada, blah blah blah, and then it's on exactly just like you said. It's on to the next thing, and then they forget about it. It's a real problem.
15 minutes. Everyone's
just got such a
fame.
Yeah, everyone's just got such like a like short-term memory where it's just like, all right,
that's the saddest part, man, is these are real lives, families that are impacted and changed forever because of these acts of violence. Man, it's, like we have a lot of issues in this country. But yeah, man, it just really sucks to see that sort of stuff.
It does. It does suck. And there is a solution, I think, that could definitely balance between trying to get rid of all the guns and balancing, I guess, just fixing. I think it's just a matter of, like, if the quality of living for everybody continues to go up, and I mean, you can already kind of see this, like, with the work from home thing. I think that's very de-stressing on a lot of people, myself included, when I work from home. It's nice.
Oh, I love it.
So what I'm saying, it's like I'm in a better mental state because I don't have to go into an office 5 days a week, 8 hours a day, and stare at my computer. Not that I'd ever consider, I had a bad work, I'm gonna go, go grab my gun and see what happens. Like, no, no one does that. But
and to your point about that, unfortunately, at the end of the day, there will always be just evil people.
That's true.
At the end
too.
of the day, I mean, that's just the way it is. It's just the way the world works, unfortunately.
That is true.
I mean, that one comment there, too, I think is also what undermines every argument you could make about gun control, because the people that are going to follow the rules that are created are not the people that are going to be shooting up schools and whatever not, but the people who are just plainly evil are going to find a way of hurting other people. Even in China, they're pretty strict on guns, and people run around just mass stabbing people with knives.
I mean,
so
that's a fair point. I mean, people find a way in some way,
I think,
some shape or another. You're not wrong.
I really don't think the focus should be on trying to get rid of guns, because even in America, I don't think it's going to be
that's not the way I feel. I think some just tweak some of the. But the point I think Brad had a couple really good suggestions. Like, just, I don't know, man. It's an endless question that has been debated for decades and will be for decades, and nothing will change.
Well, yeah, I was just going to propose what I thought might help would be better vetting, like vetting the American populace, trying to find people before this happens, kind of like how they did with terrorism in the early 2000s. But like, this guy was on Twitch, he posted things. I mean, I'm not saying it was stoppable, but there are people we could probably stop out there by just focusing in on certain areas of the internet, early tells of people who should and shouldn't be around firearms. Like, I just wish there's a better way of vetting the population, trying to find people before bad things happen, and finding help for people like that too.
Yeah, no.
I had to take a test before I went inside of the nuclear plant that I worked on in Texas. It's like 550 multiple choice questions. I forget what it's called, and it is literally a test to try and determine if you're nuts. Like, if you're all nuts and bolts up here. And I mean, it starts off like, clearly some of these questions are like, and it's all like, it's questioning, like, you're reading them like you're the person saying this, so it's from strongly disagree to strongly agree, and the statement might say like, I have fantasies about stabbing people, and you're like, what? So you like strongly disagree. Obviously, I don't. But then some of them get weird. Like one of them, it's like, I often realize that people are out to get me. I often realize that there are people in my head.
Did we lose Brad?
Potentially.
I think we lost
Continue,
Brad.
Michael.
Oh, yeah, maybe.
All right.
But that, and then even one of them to the point was my favorite poet is so and so. I forget the name. So I remembered his name from the test, and I looked it up, and it was a fake guy they invented to make sure you're paying attention. So I mean, if you go to a gun shop now, and I want that one, okay, give me your license. You fill out the paperwork. You go in the back. The computer does something. Then you can buy it. If they made people take something kind of like that, probably not as well. It could be as extensive. There has to be a certain score you'd have to get in order to like get the gun. I think that could be a possible solution, or maybe just for certain guns. Like maybe it's like the AR-15 test, but who knows?
Or just when people are in school, like it doesn't necessarily have to be a test like that, but just to like determine the welfare and like how well or healthy your students' brains are, just to make sure either someone's not being left behind, someone's doing well, or you could even move on to like when you're taking or applying for a job, just finding new ways to get people checked out, making sure everyone's okay. It doesn't have to be necessary for a gun, just making sure that everyone's mental health is okay.
And that just goes... Yeah, Michael, go ahead.
Well, see, I see this as a perfect opportunity to take it as a segue from gun laws into drug laws. So, hear me out. Okay. So, currently, my little cousin is, I don't even know, 5, 7. God forbid that a small child who everything they see is new to them and exciting can't sit still in school. So, they feed him all these pills, not just for ADHD, but other stuff for brain and focus and stuff, and then they sit this kid in class. So I was looking at him and hanging out, with family. Overnight, this personality, he looks like a zombie, And it's like, you're giving kids these drugs some people, there's a chemical imbalance, right? It happens. But I think before, like, Adderall and Ritalin and all this crazy stuff is the first thing that you do, maybe is there a way to, like, counsel the kids and like really figure out what's going on before you give them the drug? So my segue is drug laws. Yes, no. What needs to be legalized? What doesn't need to be legalized? Legalize all drugs. Maybe only some. What do we think?
Well, I think that a lot of marijuana clearly should be, it should be legal like in every state, and you should be able to recreationally get it as if you were going to, an alcohol establishment. But the age might be different than alcohol, though. Like, I think that it might not be a bad idea to have the age at 25. Clearly, the people are still going to get it. It just makes it a little bit harder. And if you chain smoke every day, like marijuana, it can like fuck with your you're getting to your full potential in terms of intelligence. If you do it every day before you're 25, which is like, that's like when your brain is supposed to be fully formed. So it might actually not be 25 for everybody. It could be a little before or after. But I think for the most part, the stuff that I've read about a lot of these drugs is that, if you're doing it in a controlled environment, there's, everything in moderation, is not a bad thing. So I definitely...
Fentanyl?
Well, fentanyl is, that's not...
Well, that's Matt. So you said controlled environment. So I remember I watched some docuseries on OxyContin, and they said, it's non-addictive in a controlled environment. Well,
OxyContin is a hell of a drug.
You're not wrong. But no, I just thought that was an interesting point, because it's like that's what they sold to all the pharmas, and then the doctors.
Well, it's control. When have you had Oxy? When have you had Oxy?
Both of my surgeries.
Exactly. Yeah. So, I'm sure they sent it home with you, and I definitely I can tell you. So part of the reason there is a pain pill epidemic in the United States is because when I got 4 teeth removed, and I, as a person, for the most part, have a pretty high pain tolerance. So I ended up just taking like one of them afterwards, and I was fine. And then I had one like the night that I had my wisdom teeth taken out, and I was fine. But they gave me like a full 2 weeks worth of pills. So I had like a bunch of them that I think we ended up flushing. But I mean, let me tell you, I slept fantastic that night. And if I had taken one the next day, I mean, with, you know, a drink or two in you, man, you'll be freaking floating, dude. They're the best. Again, controlled environment, not, you know, I'm not somebody who is going to fly off the handle and start taking them every day, but it's just like, they're so bad for you. And Michael, the fentanyl thing is just like, I believe it stems as like a painkiller type of deal.
Yes.
But
it's the same deal.
I actually had it.
So easy to overdose on it. Especially if they're putting it in cocaine.
That's the issue with this, because they lace with other stuff and then terrible stuff happens. And it's just funny because
stupid kids at Ohio State.
Yeah. And I was in the hospital whenever I had terrible stomach pains, right? This was my second surgery. And it's like, what's wrong with me? It's like, probably my appendix. And we're sitting there in the bed. I'm like, I'm dying, right? Because it's terrible pain, whatever. And then the nurse comes in, like, yeah, we'll give you some fentanyl. And Emily's like, like what? Because that's like a scary thing to hear, right? And then it's like, no, like it's in a controlled state.
Literally 100 times more potent than morphine, more effective than morphine.
Gosh.
Oh, God. You know what's crazy? I know of one guy I used to work with who cannot feel the effects of morphine, and he can't get drunk. He was telling me this at work. He said he had a surgery or something, and he's a little bit older, so this was back in the day.
They take his liver out?
I don't know, but probably not. I hope not. He'd just be dead already. But so this was back in the day when I guess at the hospital, the alcohol goes right into the bloodstream.
We don't straight line liquor, man.
This dude, we don't mainline liquor. Oh my god! But it was so back in the day, I guess. They give you a button attached to a bag of morphine, and if you felt like you're in pain, you push the button, and it mellows you out. So he's telling me that he's laying in bed, and he keeps pushing the button. He's like, nurse, the pump isn't working. Like, I'm still in pain. He drained a bag that was supposed to last 24 hours in an hour and a half. Oh. And I was like, how are you not dead? Like,
wow.
So, I mean, drug stories aren't fun, but I mean, I guess that's the thing. That's the takeaway is, you can legalize whatever you want, but damn, you got to be careful with how it impacts your body. And I don't do any drugs, so like,
yeah.
Well, aside from alcohol and caffeine.
And I'm in the same boat. I'm a sucker for some coffee all day. But it's like your point. It says, like, medicine and drugs are almost good in moderation, right? But there's almost, with everything, it's like too much of something always, I feel like is always an effect, right? Like too much Baja, I feel like 1,400 pounds or something, So.
No, it gives you superpowers. That's the only thing that's effective and safe to overdose on.
We'll open the multiverse.
Actually, speaking of Baja and weight gain, I saw a picture of myself senior year. Sometimes I'll just like take pictures and then and keep them in my memories, because then they'll come up later and you can see what you look like then. So there's a picture that came up from senior year, and boy was I thick. Oh my god.
You were perfect. You were happy and perfect.
I think when I came home, clearly it's been like almost 3 years, or it's been 3 years.
Just about 3 years, yep.
Just about 3 years. Ow! That hurts so bad. Oh my gosh. Okay. But I think within the first 6 months ish, because it still took me a while to actually end up getting to the gym, I lost 20 pounds.
Dang.
Had to have been. Yeah. Just because we were going to Taco Bell so much.
Oh, it was.
That's totally what it was.
Emily's always like, you guys went all the time, damn right. Oh, yeah. I wouldn't change a thing.
It was especially that last semester.
How much money? Do you know how much money
we went 3 times a week?
Yes, I know.
I'll never forget when I had no money for anything, and I would dig through my change.
We're like, Brad,
we will
pay for you. And Brad's like, no.
I just need your dimes. I need your dimes and quarters. That's it.
God knows
Please.
what you'll do for some 2
Oh,
tacos
boy.
and
Let's talk about that.
I was gonna say,
Oh boy.
Nope.
There was-
about it.
There's a couple
Nope.
bets made, weren't there?
Oh boy. Let's
We'll
reel
cut-
it back
we'll
in
cut this
here.
If,
That one's in the vault. I got weighed at the doctor the other day. I've gained 1.5 pounds since high school, so I'm proud
That's
of that.
consistent. That's good.
Consistently
Congrats.
doughy.
Brad said
Doughy.
congrats. Oh jeez.
It's 1 pound of
You're all
probably
sexy
straight
in your own skin
fat.
and believe it.
Exactly.
So-
No, you. Wow, we're off the rails on the legal things.
No, but
so drugs. Yes. No. I did. No, I'm kidding.
I know none of us use the lettuce, whatever it's called. Kids are calling it these days, but there's that debate of marijuana being legalized. And I don't know. I feel like it has its perks. I mean, I feel like it could also have to an extent, just controlled. But then it becomes a whole
perks. It's a hell of a lot better for you than alcohol is.
I was gonna say, I always heard that it's
Well, no.
safer than doing alcohol or
Well,
drinking alcohol.
Safer is a relative term. So they're both depressants. So like if you are like chemically depressed, as in like you have depression, and you're going to self-medicate, they're both going to do the same thing, which is they're just going to make you a shitty kind of garbage human being who's like not, like really helping yourself or the people around you, people that you love. It's whatever, and you're not going to be contributing to society. I'm sure there are people who are functioning like marijuana addicts. But they're like functioning alcoholics. But and again, when alcohol is used in moderation, there's really not a big deal. But in terms of like caloric intake, and unless you get the munchies, but like just like for your liver, like it's not, marijuana isn't as bad for your liver. If you can control your munchies, then it's like realistically, it's a lot better for you, especially if you're vaping, because it's like water vapor and you're not actually smoking. But again, you're not really smoking the same amount as if you were smoking cigarettes. So,
since you brought up the vape, it's just crazy story. Have you guys seen the story of Brittany Griner being like detained in Russia?
That's
she's
crazy.
been there for like 3 months.
Wait, is that the basketball?
She's a WNBA
Sports
player.
ball?
Yeah,
Okay.
and like I guess she was there, and she had like a weed.
she had hash oil.
Sure.
Okay.
She claims it was planted.
Yeah, and so I guess Russia, that's like it's up to like 10 years or something if you had certain
shit.
stuff, and they like detained her, and she's been there for 3 months, and I think just recently the U.S. was
They just like denied her request for something else.
yeah, because she just had her like briefing for a trial or something, and then I saw like the government officially issued her like no, like I forget the term they use, but like she's being wrongfully held or something like that. I just think that's wild.
Yeah, it was. They think that it was planted, that she wasn't. It's like So this is just like, she doesn't seem like the smartest tool in the shed personally. I've heard her interview. She just doesn't sound that intelligent. But I don't think that she's dumb enough because she is such a big star. I'm sure she's been coached up on, especially if she's playing in Russia, what you can and can't have and what you can and cannot bring through an airport. And I think that would be like, again, like I don't think she's that intelligent. I don't think a lot of NBA players or WNBA players. There are ones that are very intelligent, of course, but I think the general majority, they're basketball players. But I guarantee you they're all coached up on what you can and cannot bring through an airport, especially in a country like Russia, which is one that she plays in. I'm sure it was, spelled out in plain English for her, like, you cannot do this or you will get put in jail. So I wouldn't be surprised if it was like planted or whatever. I mean, I don't know.
The audacity, though, of Russia, like, it's been proven many, many times over that their Olympians are all juiced up on something or other, all those Russian scientists, Soviet Union drugs, and then they detain you for weed. Like, I mean, it's Russia. They're kind of the bad guys of the world currently, but it is what it is. So, in Cuba, too, if you got with any amount of, because you know how, like, real quick, in the United States, like, in Ohio, I don't know why I remember this, you can have up to like 100 grams on you, and you're not, like, it's a misdemeanor, I think. Ohio boys, tell me if I'm right. But in Cuba, any amount,
What happens?
1 year in jail, immediately, no trial. Now, granted, communist
gosh.
country,
Yeah.
and they can. When I was there, they were just stopping people on the street. Like, there's no suspicion; they can just do that. But that's why it's
That's
good we live
scary.
here. But
And again, that's why we do live in the greatest country in the world. But everyone's got
And
issues.
you want to go back, Michael?
Cuba's a beautiful country.
I'm
The
sure it
people
is,
are all
but not
friendly.
beautiful enough to get detained if you.
Yeah,
have
I've
some
heard
hash
everyone
on you.
say it's like, oh, it's so cool that it's like stuck in the 80s.
That's not a good thing.
No, honestly,
Really?
I mean, oh, go ahead. Sorry, Brad.
No, because I was kind of gonna transition, but what were you saying?
Just, I guess, final thought about Cuba. They have a lot of fucked up laws. They have a lot of randomly progressive stuff too. Like, all their motorcycles are electric, and I'm like, damn, go you guys. How are you charging them? But go
Okay,
you
all right.
guys.
I respect that.
Yeah, but I was there, and I'm walking around. This building's just on fire, and this dude is running from the. He's on the first floor. He's filling up a bucket, running upstairs, and throwing it on water on the second floor.
Oh,
and I
no.
felt really bad for him.
This is
But,
fine.
I mean,
this is fine.
Yeah, but it's the. I felt real. I was like, do I help? Like, where's the fire department? I don't think they had one. That's why we pay taxes.
That's a good point.
Brad.
No, I was just gonna say, like, it's crazy how, like, different, like, laws vary, like, from country to country with, like, Brittany Griner and the whole weed ordeal, but, like, even in our own country, like, from state to state, like, how stuff can kind of vary, and, like, the most, like, ridiculous stuff that can be put into law just in one state but not the other.
I have a website up right now with those on there.
Yeah.
I looked it up as we started. Like, in California, it's illegal to whistle for a lost canary before 7 a.m. Colorado, it's illegal to keep a couch on your porch. Connecticut, a pickle must be able to bounce.
So I thought it'd be interesting if everyone.
You can't sell you can't sell dog hair in Delaware.
If anyone has any weird laws, like I came from Akron, right? Worked there for a bit. I was like, all right, what's in Akron? So in Akron, it is against the law to display colored chickens for sale. This is referring to chickens that are dyed. So I guess if you try to sell a blue chicken, that's illegal.
Can't do it.
It's false advertising. And another one.
Yeah. The one for Ohio was that illegal to sell dyed chickens.
There it is. And also in Ohio, it is illegal to fish for whales on Sunday. So damn.
It's the Lord's Day.
Hold on.
No fishing.
What did you just say?
It's the Lord's Day. You can no fishing.
No whales.
No whaling on Sundays in Ohio.
Whaling's actually a terrible thing going on in the world.
Watch Seaspiracy.
Especially in Ohio.
Yes, Michael, that's sad shit. Especially in Ohio, Brad. That is correct.
Yeah.
I didn't have any, like,
avoided hunting whales in Ohio. Bang bang!
In Columbus, Brad, you might have done this before. You cannot have cornflakes on Sunday.
Are you really?
I'm pretty sure I broke the law then.
So
they're watching you.
Shit.
I didn't look up any in Ohio, but I saw a couple that I thought were interesting. Like in Louisiana, you cannot send an unsolicited pizza to anyone.
Oh.
So like you can't just like send someone a pizza without their permission. It's like a $500 fine.
Oh my gosh.
You can't drive a black car in Denver on Sunday.
There's a lot of
How many
on
people
Sunday
break that?
laws.
It's the Lord's
Like
Day.
that. And then in Vermont, you need permission. A woman needs permission to purchase false teeth from her husband.
Okay.
I want to know how these were created.
Exactly. I was like, I want to know the stories behind these. Like, there's one right here that says, it is illegal. The installation and usage of slot machines in outhouses is prohibited in Bexley, Ohio.
I saw that one.
like was someone just 24 hours just hitting the slots?
If you're from Bexley, like, if you know Bexley, it kind of makes sense. It's not the best place in the world.
How do you get a slot machine
either really
in an
rich,
outhouse?
it's really rich, or really poor.
Oh my god.
I got some weird ones about the best city on earth, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
Oh boy.
Actually, it's more or less just Pennsylvania in general. So it is illegal to catch fish with your hands and also dynamite.
That's fair.
It is in Pittsburgh illegal in the city of Pittsburgh to sleep outside on top of a refrigerator. Don't know.
I've seen that one.
It's against the law to sing in the bathtub in Pennsylvania. I'm sorry, Brad.
I've definitely done that.
That's unfortunate.
Oh, and there's a town called Connellsville, and your pants may be no lower than 5 inches below your waist, so you can't sag your pants trying to look all hip and cool.
That's very
I have a
cool.
question. How do you catch a fish with dynamite?
You light
How
it.
does one do
you
that?
throw it in the
You
water. It goes boom.
It's fishing
they
with
get,
explosives.
They get knocked out. They get knocked out, and they float to the top because they're not swimming, and you just pick them up out of the water. Did it a lot in Red Dead Redemption 2.
It's also illegal in Ohio to get a fish drunk as well. So,
Dude, I want to drink with you.
Damn.
Oh, my dad. You guys want to hear a funny story then?
yes.
My dad, I don't know if it's breaking that law because it technically wasn't alcohol, but he gave our beta fish like a Xanax or something. I can't remember what it was.
What?
And the little dude was just flying.
Why?
Hey, I was a little kid. It was really messed up.
Oh, Tommy.
Well, this is also coming from the dude that he cut off half the whiskers on his mom's pet cat so it'd walk sideways.
That is my chair.
Old Tommy.
If it wasn't a dog, I don't think he liked it as much.
Oh my gosh, that's
That's
amazing.
awesome. Incredible.
Well, Brad, do you have something to finish? Get us concluded here. A little game for us.
Yeah. So,
that.
I spent a lot of time on TikTok, unfortunately, and on TikTok, recent trend is it's this like Sprite challenge where you get like a 20 ounce bottle of Sprite.
Brought to you by.
Oh, I got
And you
I
try
was aware of what we were doing.
to chug the Sprite or just finish the Sprite without burping.
Oh, I'm gonna try a beer.
And most of the time people fail, and it's like very violent. It's a very violent reaction. So I just kind of wanted to either all of us do it at the same time and just all react at the same time, or all of us go one after the other.
I like the five-some.
You said 20 ounce?
I mean, it like
I
a
only got a can.
Oh boys,
bottle.
let's.
It's okay.
I'm gonna try a 12 ounce beer.
Are we all going at the same time, or
Yeah,
are we?
let's do it.
Okay.
All at the same time.
All right.
Hey,
Everyone ready?
wait. I apologize for what's about to happen to people watching
Michael's
this on
gonna
YouTube.
sweat.
I'm gonna sweat. Oh god, it's gonna explode. Hold on. Oh shit. It exploded.
All right. Well, is
Okay.
everyone ready? We'll go on 3.
Hold on, I'm gonna get it. Oh, that's fine. Let's do it like this.
All right. 1, 2, 3. There it was.
I'm trying so hard. I heard.
Ooh.
Mine wasn't very loud. That didn't feel good though.
I lost the game.
Yeah, I was unsuccessful. What was that?
Jesus Christ.
My chest was I couldn't breathe.
Everyone look at Brad.
I'm just gonna vomit all over his mic. Oh, he's frozen.
Oh, that's a good one. Oh my lord!
And that'll be a Happy Friday post. Screenshot.
Oh,
I just
before we sign off,
just
can we
lagged
also
out.
do a show and tell?
I only got two out there. Not that great.
No, I suck.
I did not want to throw up everywhere.
That hurt.
Before we end this, can I do a show and tell?
Yeah.
This is the first time we did a podcast. I've done a podcast when I'm in my room, so I have a picture that's very close to all of our hearts right next to me.
Let's see it.
Sorry, Jordan.
Boom.
There it is.
Nice.
There it is.
Signed by all those beautiful men.
Yes, sir.
SAU was good for something.
Hell mount, baby.
For what a while.
Go Durs.
Go Durs.
Jordan,
I'd like
I love
to just
that.
say it was beautiful.
I had to
Yeah,
look.
guys.
I don't know where they went, though.
This has been episode 5 of the MOBcast, and it's been a good one. And once again, this is the Mob saying goodbye to you guys. So,
See you in
Thank
2
you.
weeks.
Bye.
See ya.
Bye, buddy.
Bye.
What's that sound? What's that sound? What's that sound? It's the Mobcast.